Ooh, bitch. Okay. First of all, before we get into all of the good stuff, I just wanted to say a really big thank you to everyone who watched my video last week. It was the biggest video I've ever done, and it got 10,000 views, and that's like so beyond to me. So I just wanted to thank every single one of you. It really means a lot to me. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm your host, not for possession, Narcissa Deville, and welcome to hell. So I want to get started right away with Miss Thorgy's bitter exit, because I have to say I felt like Thorgy's exit was like, I mean, I get why she feels the way she did. You know, it was very obvious that Shangela chose the way she did because of her friendship. It was very, very obvious to me. Not that I don't love Kennedy, but I just felt like it was very obvious what her decision was. And so I get why Thorgy's pissed about it, but I just felt like it was very, very bitter. And the whole, like, dick pic, I'm like, okay, girl, it's almost childish. Like, Milk was trying to defend her and be like, oh, it's funny, she's like a clown. And I'm like, no, it's just childish. Like, sorry. And it's not like she's gone forever. We all know she will return, kind of, for a minute at least, okay? So let's get into who did Ben choose, because that is the question everyone always wants to know. Who the fuck did the other bitch choose? And she chose Thorgy as well. So frankly, I feel like when they both choose the same person, that's a pretty clear indication that everyone was on the same page and the right bitch went home. That's just me. That's just my 2 cents. You know, I think the kind of funny thing is, like, there's all this drama and Milk is acting so upset because of, you know, Thorgy being sent home. And it was the same thing when Ben was upset for having to send Morgan home. And it's just like, that seems really fake to me. Like, I just feel like y'all, it just comes off really, really phony. And I'm just like, bitch, really? Why are you so upset about nothing? Like, so this week we had the Bitchelor challenge. There was no mini challenge, so it was right out the gate. Let's get into it. Let's get into this crazy shit. So they were double paired, and the pairings were as were as follows. Asha and Kennedy, with Asha playing the super needy girl and Kennedy playing the party girl. Now, it becomes clear later in the episode that Asha does not exactly know what needy means. I don't know exactly what word she's thinking of, but it becomes very, very apparent very, very quickly that Asha does not have a clue what needy means. Next up, we have Miss Trixie Mattel and Milk, with Trixie playing the fake bitch and Milk playing the crazy stalker chick, which then Milk proceeds to go into a whole big, unneeded explanation about how she kind of stalked her boyfriend and that's how they got together. And it was just this really cringy moment where you're like, why are you sharing this? This seems like the sort of thing you don't want to talk about, but I digress. Next up, we had Miss Bebe, Zahara, Benet, and Ben De La Creme, with Bebe playing the virgin and Ben playing, what else? A cougar. I feel like that's the obvious role for Ben at this point. It's kind of like a character, and I don't know. I thought it was perfect, to be honest with you. Lastly, we had Chi-Chi DeVayne and Shangela playing a polyamorous duo, which already hurts so much. With Chi-Chi being more interested in the Bitchelor and Shangela being more interested in Chi-Chi, because that is how that works. I'm not gonna get into my personal life. If you want to watch my other videos, you can watch. I was in a polyamorous relationship, and I can tell you favorites are played, but oh God, it's so cringy. It's exactly what you think, how they do it. Like, it's exactly, it's so cringy. It's so cringy. Okay, let's get into it. So from the get-go, while she's practicing, Miss Asha is giving you very like pheromone, whiny, kind of like rich bitch realness. And it's, I think, again, it goes back to my point. She doesn't quite understand what needy means. I think for a second, like when you watch the performance, when they get to that, there is a moment where it seems like she's kind of got it, like she kind of knows what she's going for, but then she like instantly loses it, and you're like, oh, honey, what are you doing? And then we get to Chi-Chi. Oh boy. I have secondhand embarrassment for this scene. Miss Chi-Chi, I feel for you, girl. I really do, because she did not... I think she was very, very intimidated from the jump with these girls. She was very, very intimidated by this challenge, by the aspect of having to play this character. I think she really overthought it. She tried to do like this British accent for a second, which did not work, and she ends up landing on like this very like dumb valley girl. I don't really know what her decision-making process was there, but it was just, oh God. So let's get into the action. And from the jump, I have to say, my favorite part of this was like the like flirtatiousness of Ru with the Bitchelor, how you can tell he was really into him. It was so hilarious. I absolutely loved it. I was like, yes, give it to me. I love it. And then for the actual contestants, first up we had Miss Bebe giving you Virgin Fantasy, and I mean, I guess, sure. I don't necessarily think she played up to the other aspect of it, because the challenge for her was, you're a virgin, but you also really want to lose your virginity. And I feel like she got the virgin aspect, but she didn't get like that secret whore aspect, which I can attest to very well, because back when I was a virgin, I was very much like, God, won't someone fuck me? Like, I just feel like there's a layer to that Bebe didn't quite get. It didn't end up hurting her, so what the fuck ever. I'm not bitter, I'm just bitter. Next up, we had Miss Trixie giving you the fakest bitch on planet Earth. I lived for this, okay? Now, obviously, I am just a tiny bit biased because I'm 100% Team Trixie all the way, but I genuinely thought she did really, really well in this challenge. I definitely thought she was, like, far and away, like, the winner. I thought she was, like, she's very much that two-faced bitch who's, like, you know, says something really nice to your face, but talks shit behind your back. Like, she was giving you that. And that's not an easy thing to do in, like, a short little skit like this. But she managed to find a way to do it with her little being on the phone and not remembering his name. It was just very that. And I have to give it to Trixie. She was the MVP, or whatever the fuck that sports reference thing is. She killed it. Like, I'm sorry. I just think she killed it. Like, she slayed. Next up, we had Miss Milk serving you straight up stock of realness, hiding in the bushes. It was a lot, okay? Let me just tell you right out the gate. And this is just their introductions. Milk was a lot. Like, I get where she was going with it. I get the look. I get, like, her ideas. But it was a lot. And frankly, I think it might have been a little too much for a lot of people. Like, it was just like, no, girl, you're a little, take it down. Which is not something Ru normally has to say to people, but I feel like someone should have given her the note, like, take it down a notch. Take it down a notch, okay? Because you're, like, at a 12, and we need you, like, a little bit less than that. Next up, we have Miss Asha, and at first I was like, yes, she has given it to me. She said something, and I, like, literally screamed. I was like, oh my fucking God. And then her Miss Pheromone moment, you don't really love me. I died. But again, it comes back to the point that she doesn't really know what needy means. And so I'm like, okay. When she's, oh, that was I know what it was. The moment she said, I would kill for you. I was like, oh, bitch. Okay. You're a little more the stalker, I think, actually, than needy. Like, needy's a little more like, I can't live without you. And, like, she was like a stalker. Like, I will murder for you is straight up stalker. I'm sorry. That was like, oh, bitch. It was good. Terrifying. Next up, we had Miss Kennedy, and, ooh, bitch. She was she was over the top, bitch. She was giving you all kinds of extraness. I mean, she went there, is what I will say. Her over-exaggerated ass, her over-exaggerated titties, the fact that her dress said love on it, like, it was, I kind of liked it in a weird way. Like, her teeth drove me crazy, but it was very, like, it was very interesting. It was very party girl. I was like, okay, okay. And then you pull the flask and you're like, okay, bitch, you came to party. I got it. I got it. Next up, we had, oh, I missed De La. I am so sorry. I think I missed talking about De La. Let me rewind a second. This is not in order anymore because I think I fucked up and missed talking about De La. So Miss De La was your cougar. She was like really giving it to you. It was right on her alley, that cougar, but it was also like, oh God, no. It's like the worst things. Your worst nightmare of a cougar, that's what she was giving you. But it was good. Like, it was a look. Last up, we had Miss Shangela and Miss Chi-Chi, and oh God, why? This was a cringy, every time they were together, it was like, please God, when will this end? It was so cringe-worthy and painful. I really couldn't. Here's the thing. Shangela obviously was the better of the two. She obviously overshadowed Chi-Chi in a lot of ways. But Chi-Chi's decision to play dumb and go that whole route, I just really felt like, girl, what were you thinking? Like, so when it came to like their 2-on-1 interactions, Miss Ben and Miss Bebe, Ben was giving you like that full Dragula filth fantasy, and I was like, okay, bitch, you are giving me the filthiest, nastiest, ho-downiest fucking cougar I have ever seen, and I kind of lived for it. Like, there were moments where I was like throwing up in my mouth a little bit, but then there were moments where I was like, bitch, you went there. You if this was Dragula, you would have won that shit. Let me tell you, that was nasty in a lot of ways, but really, really good. Comparatively, though, on the opposite end of the spectrum, and I think one of the shitty things for a lot of these girls who are paired up with really funny girls is that Ben did so well that Bebe just really fell flat in comparison, and I feel like there was no way Bebe was gonna win that one because she was just, you know, wah wah, middle of the road. Nope, sorry. Next up, we had Miss Trixie and Miss Milk, and Trixie was she stayed in character. She was giving you that cannot be bothered fake bitch from the hills. You know this bitch, you've met this bitch, you've talked to this bitch, you may even be this bitch. Like, she was giving you that fake ass, cannot be bothered, taking a phone call in the middle of this fucking date. Like, I live. Trixie was giving it to you. And so then you have Milk, who, she was like stepping over Trixie's line. She was just very over the top. It was like, no, sweetie, no. Next up, we had Miss Asha and Miss Kennedy, and You know, again, it's one of those pairings where it was like, okay, one of them is doing really, really well, and the other one really isn't. Miss Kennedy came up there. She pulled shots out of her titties. She pulled vodka out of her legs. Like, she was giving you that girl who is ready to fucking go. Alcoholic, party monster, like, she was giving it to you. I really was impressed with that. And then you have Miss Asha, who is very, like, meek, very, like, yeah, she's hanging on to him, which is a little bit, like, giving you that needy fantasy, but it's very, like, whiny and very pheromone, and it was just like, oh my god, make it stop. I can't. Last up, we had Miss Chi-Chi and Miss Shangela on their double date in the hot tub, and cringe level 200. I was... Oh god, why? That was the longest scene of my life. I can't even begin to tell you how, like, painfully cringy this was. From Chi-Chi's very weird, like, dumb moments to her very, like, calling Shangela mom or mother, and, like, all that aspect was really weird. And so it just kind of made the whole scene uncomfortable. So even when Shangela's making a joke, it's kind of like they're in two completely separate camps. Like, they're in two completely separate shows. They're in completely separate worlds. And I think sometimes Shangela didn't even seem to really react or interact with Chi-Chi. And so it was almost like Shangela's over here doing her funny shit, and Chi-Chi's over here, you know, dying. And you're like, are you two on the same show? Like, I don't understand. What is happening here? It was, oh god, it was so painful. So then it came time for Jeffrey to choose who he was going to give his eggplant to, which, ooh, bitch, I get into that. And in a surprise twist, he chose Mama Ru, and he picked her up and carried her away, and I was like, yes, bitch, yes, you better fucking slay. I was gagged. So this week's runway challenge was wigs on wigs on wigs. Inspired by Miss Roxy Andrews, giving you wig reveals, and I'm living for it. So let's get into the looks. First up, we have Mama Ru, and everything about this nude illusion is slaying me. Everything about this, like, I cannot get over how much I love this look, especially compared to last week's look. I really wasn't feeling. This look is so stunning. I love the black. I love the nude illusion. I love everything about it. 10s across the board. Yes, bitch. Yes, bitch. Next up, we have Miss Ben De La Creme giving you that cute little updo look. And then she gives you the wig reveal, and it's very long. It's very flowy, very thin. I actually really like the idea of doing a wig reveal to reveal longer hair instead of shorter hair like some queens have done. I was like, okay, bitch, work. And then her next reveal, she gave you a full wig skirt. And I was like, okay, that's kind of hideous, but I like your idea. Next up, we have Miss Bebe Zahara Benet. Bebe is giving you that full updo, and then actually hers was kind of, she had like the updo, and then she had like longer hair. And it's cute, you know, it's a look. Not my favorite look, but it's a look. And then she takes down her hair, and she's got like ball hair, like hair in balls. And I was like, okay, that's better-ish. Next up, we have Miss Trixie Mattel, and as everyone was saying, she was giving you that full Lady Bunny realness. And then she took that hair off, and she was giving you like very Raven bull cut fantasy, and I was like, oh god, that's not my favorite. Milk was giving you that big orange hair thing. No. No. I'm not. No. Miss Asha giving you that kawaii fantasy again, starting with that interesting, very like blow up doll hair, and then she took that off. She gave you that cute yellow bob number, and then this was another gag. She goes from that yellow bob to this like gorgeous purple and pink looking, I don't even know what you'd call that, kind of like a bowl cut, kind of like a Mo from the Three Stooges in the front with like 2 long pigtails in the back. I was getting my whole life. This look was so cute. She's really giving you that like anime style, and I kind of love it. It's very, very interesting from her. Next up, we have Miss Kennedy Davenport, and I have to be honest with you, when I first saw this look, I was like, is that Jasmine Masters? Like, it was very that, but something about her hair and her face, I was getting very Jasmine Masters. And it was gorgeous, like, don't get me wrong, but I was like, okay. And then she gave you that reveal, and she gave you another reveal, and she was giving you, like, Nene Leakes, very, like, white hair, very, like, short, choppy. It was cute, okay? I have to give it to her. It was cute. Next up, we had Miss Chi-Chi DeVayne, and I have to say, I loved Chi-Chi's dress. I thought her hair was it was very similar to Kennedy's. I wasn't like that impressed with her first hair, but I was very, very impressed with her dress. And then when she gave you that very long, like, dark lady Cher hair, I was like, okay, bitch, I like that better with this dress. I like the look better personally. So next up, we had Miss Shangela giving you her corn fantasy, stripping out of her corn dress. That was a look. I thought that was really, really sickening. And then she did her reveal, and I was less impressed. It was like green curls with popcorn in it. It was just very like... So Shangela and Bebe were the only 2 safe, and once more, say it with me now, Ben De La Creme was in the top, along with Kennedy. And I feel like of the 2 of them, Kennedy deserved it more. But here's the thing. I'm sorry. I'm going to call shade and rigomoris. Trixie, I think, really deserved that way more than Ben. Yes, Ben gave you that Dragula filth. She gave you filth for your nerves. It was disgusting. It was funny. Okay, I get that. But... top 3 again, or top 2 again. I'm not buying that. I'm sorry. No. I think Trixie really sold that a lot more. She certainly thought she should have won. I think the only thing that stopped her from winning was Miss Milk stepping over her lines, trampling over her lines like a fucking bull in a china shop. It was like, ooh, honey. No. And of course, that leaves Milk, Asha, and Chi-Chi in the bottom. Now, always when there's a bottom 3, it's never quite clear who's going to go home. But I've always felt like the names and the order that they're in that box, where there's like 2 on top and then 1 bitch on the bottom. I always feel like the bitch on the bottom is the one the judges wanted to go home. And... spoiler alert, that is the one who goes home. So let's get into the song. Was called Green Light by Lorde. I actually don't know this song from her. I do love Lorde. I love a lot of her work. I don't know this song, so it was kind of like, okay, this is kind of a slower song. This is not the easiest song to lip sync to. And I know Ben was like, oh, I'm not going to go for comedy, and then like throws her hair in front of her face and you can't see anything and you're like, yeah, that didn't work. Miss Kennedy, though, I have to give it up to her. First of all, her look was giving it to you. She gave you a dress reveal. She gave you another hair reveal. Miss Kennedy was giving it to you the entire fucking time. And that lip sync, like, I was convinced that was coming out of her fucking mouth. So, Miss Kennedy, you deserved to win that lip sync. That lip sync was good on you, bitch. You deserve to win that. So, the choice was up to Miss Kennedy to say who she wanted to go home. And I have to say, you know, while they were doing the deliberation, they talked to all the girls. Kennedy was the only one who didn't talk to the girls. But when Ben De La was talking to the girls, Chi-Chi made it very, very clear that she felt she should go home. She felt that she was the one who deserved to go home because she didn't think she belonged there. She was giving you very Miss Adore Delano, I don't belong here, season 2 realness. And I was kind of like, you know what, if you don't feel you belong here, then you don't belong here. So Chi-Chi, I think it's time for you to go. Unfortunately for me, Kennedy picked who I thought she was going to pick, to be honest, because I think the girls were really getting sick of Milk. I think she was very too cocky for everyone. She was very like, I'm it in a bag of chips, you're all fucking garbage, and I kind of suspected that Milk was going to go home, and she did, so that's what it is. So I'm very curious about... Honestly, I have to say, okay, so final thoughts. I have to say, I wasn't as impressed with this episode as I wanted to be. I thought it was going to be a lot more funny. I definitely feel like next week, which is supposed to be Snatch Game, is going to be a lot better because Snatch Game is always better. This, I felt like there wasn't any like laugh out loud moments for me. There were definitely moments that were funnier than others, but I just felt like it was very like meh. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how it goes. So that's all I got for you. This is another RuView from Miss Narcissa Deville. Thank you all so much for watching. I so appreciate you all. Thank you all so much who subscribed to me in the last week. This has been like an incredible week for me, and I'm so grateful. Thank you all so much for watching, and until next time, bye. Oh, and if you don't mind, please give me a like, comment down below, and subscribe. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.